wondered the history about Mars? When you take a look at a certain work and you compare it to another one, and you just think that it evolves throughout history just like it does on Earth? Well, that's my purpose with this one shot. Hey guys, the Ecron Writer here. Welcome you to another OBS project. And this one not only centers on Cowboy Bebop, but also a theory as well as the history of concerning Mars's, aka the Red Planet's, evolution. Obviously, since it's not actually ready to be colonized just yet. So I was thinking, with all those fantastical cartoons and anime and stuff that you see about Mars, I kind of got to thinking, how does one actually lead to another? Well, in this case, I have Cowboy Bebop along with Biker Mice from Mars. Two of my favorite cartoons that center around that red planet. So, let's take a look. The myth of Mars. This is something I just came up with on a whim. Don't own Biker Mice or Cowboy Bebop, blah blah blah. I came up with this on a whim. Aside from the Martian malarkey, Mars is the home planet to two of my favorite series, Biker Mice from Mars and Cowboy Bebop. However, this crossover's concept will be somewhat unexpected. A long time ago, back on Earth in 1993, there once was an incident in the windy city of Chicago. On one fateful night, there was a mechanic named Charlie Davidson, who observed a crash landing by a mysterious vessel. The descendants of Harley Davidson overlooked three bipedal mice that were about 7 feet tall and can talk. Together they were known as the Valiant Biker Mice from Mars, a subgroup of freedom fighters from their doomed red planet. The leader of the bunch, Throttle, stated there was a war against another extraterrestrial race known as the Plutarchians. These fish-like creatures belonged to Lawrence Limburger, aka the Big Cheese, and they depleted their own planet's natural resources. They decided to loot and plunder Mars and a war broke out. With his close friends Moto and Vinny, they narrowly escaped with their lives. The results were deadly, too. He was blinded by an attack launched by the Plutarchians' disgusting associate, Grease Pit, resulting him to wear a special pair of shades to help his impaired sight. This method also made Moto lose his arms and had them replaced by mechanical parts. Plus, Vinny lost the left side of his face, which was covered by a gray mask. In addition, the Resistance lost their fellow comrades such as Vinny's girlfriend Harley, Moto's nephew Rimfire, and their mentor Stoker. The mice and their master were abducted by the mad scientist Dr. Carbuncle, hoping to brainwash them. The plan worked, only for Stoker, while the rest broke free. Since then, they were on the run, leaving Mars in ruins. It took them about a decade for them to recuperate, and eventually right all the wrongs they'd done. Although the Plutarchians weren't the mice's only enemy. After the overthrow of Limburger and his cohorts and the Detroit's gang run by Napoleon Bry, they also had to deal with other foes like the leader of a hostile gang named Pit Boss and their terrestrial races. One in particular consisted of a lethal group of rats, and another was called the Catatonian Army, which were run by felines hell-bent on taking over Mars's prized possession, the Regenerator. Knowing it was the only way to repair all the damage done to Mars and to restore its water supply, the trio recruited their long-lost family to win against its threats. Although there was a price to be paid, a heart-wrenching one. Vinny's main love interest, Harley, once believed that he abandoned her during their escape, making her a rebel to their cause. By the time he talked some sense into her, convincing her she was wrong all this time, she sacrificed herself during some life-threatening explosions from the defective regenerator the Catatonians made, allowing the mice to escape unscathed. Generations have passed, and over time, people began to forget about the biker mice and their kind. It was now 2071, and humanity had found a way to personally enter Mars without consequence. About 50 years ago, there was a major accident on Earth. Scientists designed a gateway that would let people visit other planets in a more comfortable, quick fashion. Earth was a shooting gallery from all the debris left by the hyperspace invention, and countless meteors made it very dangerous to live in. Fortunately, people were able to colonize various moons and planets, and the first was Mars. This was the home that belonged to a few notable humans such as an elderly nomad Laughing Bull, the badass bounty hunter Spike Spiegel, his love interest Julia, his bitter rival named Vicious, and also a crime organization they belonged to called the Red Dragon Syndicate. Since then, as men celebrated over their endeavors on hospitalizing Mars, the mice, rats, and Catatonians' existence were wiped out gradually. Much like the dinosaurs that roamed Earth millions of years ago, they too became extinct. There was little evidence on both planets, and people began to make myths and legends about them. There were very few specimens still alive, and there were little to no efforts to repopulate their species. And so, Throttle, Moto, Vinny, Stoker, and even their close Earthling friend Charlie made a pact to stabilize their pasts. Abandoned motorcycles, some audio and video footage, and certain ruins were the only proof left. And that's when humans realized there were once living beings on Mars, rather than just deformed, funky-looking Martians as they suspected. The rumors were uncanny, but clear since then, and the mice and Charlie's legacy lived on. It was thanks to them and the innocent people of Chicago that interplanetary life existed and was able to withstand the tests of time. I certainly wish there would be life on Mars for real. I hope we'd be able to live there someday and not be so foolish like the Plutarchians did. So I couldn't resist working on this Legend of Mars. It was unlikely, and I wasn't sure how to blend in both series. So last night I had this bizarre idea on doing it, hence the myth. I hope you'll like this little tale. And here's to hoping that Mars will become inhabitable sometime in the distant future. So this is the Ecron Writer signing out. Take care, everyone.